Hey everybody, how's everybody doing? Uh, Welcome to my live stream where I edit your photos live here and you submit them through the links below. So I've already downloaded everything up to this point that I'm going to be able to edit today. And I see a lot of folks here from my previous live stream where I answered your questions on Olympus cameras and photography in general and just chit chat. But this live stream is dedicated just editing photos, and I'm going to edit them the way that I would if they were my own photos. And I always welcome feedback from you as well in the chat section here over in the left. I noticed a little bit of a lag on my video here, so I might restart the software and see if that helps. But anyway, hi Peter, John, good to see you. John has a quick question about extension tubes on the 14 to 42 Easy. Yeah, it should work just fine. You know, the working distance is very short on that lens though, even it's zoomed out at 42 millimeters. So I'd recommend using the 40 to 150 kit lens instead. That lens is excellent for extension tubes. Oh, there it is. Peter says the same thing. Yeah, the 40 to 150 kit lens will do a lot better. Then your working distance is, you know, like this or like this. You know, as much as 4 feet, I think, if you zoom all the way out. Your magnification doesn't change much when you're zooming in and out, but it does change your working distance. So I find it a lot easier where I can stand and then just zoom in and out until I see the object in focus, and then use the autofocus to nail it from there. And yeah, John, it does provide much better working distance. Hey Roman, how are you? Plato, good to see you again. Let's go in, just answer any quick questions here. Yeah, sometimes, you know, the streaming, I don't know if you can adjust the streaming quality on your television or not. I haven't tried that because I do watch a lot of YouTube on TV, but definitely there's a little cog or icon in your laptop or computer where you can click and change the streaming quality to high definition. So what I'm going to do is, oh well, there's still a little bit of lag, so I'm going to restart the software real quick, so the screen might go blank for a second. So give me that and then we'll start editing some photos. Okay, that didn't seem to help. I'm still seeing a little bit of a lag, but short of doing a full reboot on my computer, I'm not sure what to do. I don't know why. It's always some technical issue in my streams. I just don't understand. But let's go ahead and start editing and see how it goes. If it gets too laggy, then just let me know and I'll try and reboot the system. Am I live or not? Looks like it. Okay, good. There. I think the audio was just a bit too loud too for some reason. Where do I switch here? Switch here. Okay, good. All right, so the first image we have here, oh, these are some weird flowers and weeds. Interesting. Oh wait, I see a bee on here. Oh, I like that. Just slightly misfocus on the bee and we're focused on this flower. Yeah, it's tough to focus on those little tiny bugs, right? And just let me know in the comments if you can see me or hear me at least okay, even if my images might be a little laggy. So I think because we missed a little bit of focus there on the bee, and then these highlights are a little bit So we have a pretty high contrast scene here, right? What did you send me? A JPEG, Bob? So I'm not going to be able to recover these highlights too well. And then this is just a blurry mess here. So I think I would just crop in on this corner. I don't think we need this other additional flower. This is an interesting flower though. The way it's hanging upside down and the bee has to come up underneath. Oh, soft to be fun. Just check the icon cog in the bottom right of the stream and you should be able to change that from like soft to HD. So yeah, I would crop in right about here. See if a standard 4x3 crop. Because I can see you've already made this a square crop. But I would stick to right about there. And let me bring the exposure down a bit. Yeah, there's no saving the highlights at this point because the JPEG is baked in. And let's see. Maybe just a tad on the midtones and the shadows. I think I'm going to crop even more. I don't like this this little flower bud sticking in. So let me get rid of that. Yeah, something like, I think that works. It's a little bit too heavy on top. So let me change this to a vertical. I'm going to go this way. Okay, that works a little better. I cut off this. Let me cut that off a little more. Right there. Yeah, this crop works for me. I just wish the bee was in focus, but since the flower is, and maybe just a pop filter. That's a little bit too strong. Pinhole 3. Ugh. I'm going to try one more instant film. Yeah, that's a wreck. So let's use pop filter, but bring the saturation down a bit. There. And I'm going to reduce the greens. Would warming it up a little bit help? No, I just have to reduce the greens manually. So first let me reduce the luminance. Some of the greens and the yellows. Maybe these oranges, because most of the interesting color is like this purple and blue. It's a little bit too much on the luminance. Let me even this out because I don't want to get any kind of weird mushiness. Whoops. And then now we can kill the saturations on these. Okay, I think that works for me. Just need a little bit more in the shadow. Maybe a tiny bit more here. Ugh. Yeah, the highlights are just gone. And I'm gonna see if I can bring, what am I on, saturation? A little more in the blues. Maybe I can do it this way. So I'm trying to bring these blues in a little bit stronger there, and that helped a little bit with the eyes on the bee. Okay, good, Bob. Yeah, the raw didn't have the highlights blown. That's good. So I would bring these back in the raw image. But okay, I think this is where I would go. Let's do a quick before and after. I just got rid of basically this corner. And when I cropped it horizontally, it was a little bit too heavy on the top. So I think a vertical works better. I did kind of mess up the greens in the background a little bit with the pop filter, but I think we're good now. I like it. I really like this blue on the bee. The way the blue light is hitting this bee and give it kind of a neon look. I like that part. You can really see that now. Whereas in this image, it's not quite as accented, but now you can see that. So that kind of gives the I think the picture a little bit more interesting take. Yeah, because that's not something you might not see with the naked eye even necessarily, but it did come out in the image. So maybe play with that idea on the raw file, bring these highlights in, and then see if you can accentuate some of the blue hitting onto this bee. And I think this would be a really interesting picture. And then just get rid of all this extra stuff all down here in the bottom right. All right, but nice picture. Yeah, that's a good point about the flowers where the eye is first drawn. The rules say the bee should be in the shadows, or the bee is in it. The rules say that your eye should be drawn to the bee, right? Oh, thanks, Rick. But yeah, I like this. Yeah, I'm not a wild man rule breaker, that's for sure. Okay, here we have a nice raw image from Thomas. I love cats. I wish I could have a cat, but my dog would kill her. What is this? Is this? This is a weird angle. You're looking down and kind of up. The angle is bothering me a little bit. But I think we need to focus on just this part right here. Maybe get the paws in. I like how he's holding himself up on the paws. Yeah, I'm ruthless at cropping. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I like my shots tight, you know, and just focus on the most interesting thing in the image and then balance from there. But I'm definitely gonna giving me a laugh. I'm definitely going to crop the heck out of this one. I'm going to try and save the pause, so I think, I don't know, I might have to go vertical. I don't know if a horizontal is going to cut it. So let me try vertical. I like all of this plant too, but I'm gonna have to go with a square crop because I'm just not getting enough of the cat in the image. Maybe right. That feels about right. Yeah, still not enough of the cat, but I got the paws and this plant. This plant is pretty interesting too. Man, this crop is not working. AR thinks I should do 16 by 9. Can I get enough of the... Let me try that. Not sure I like that either. Maybe I'll just stick with the original 4x3 right about there. And it's just this weird angle. I need to tilt it. And I like how the cat's ears are leaning back. All right, that works now. The cat was just leaning back a little bit too far for me. But now that I've tilted it, it feels a little more natural. I wish I could crop out this part. I don't like this vine here. I think that works. All right. Okay, now the exposure is dead on. There's nothing I would change about the exposure. I might try and crush this part out a little bit and bring the cat up. So basically we need, yeah, more contrast. Let me do this, and then I'm going to crush the blacks a little bit like this. Yeah, I think that works. And then we just need a little more brightness. And then I might work with the dehaze a little bit, but let me just crank in maybe a third of a stop. Oh, that's too much. Right there. And I can at least, I need to bring this off a little bit. Okay. Let me punch in. I like this actually right here. A really tight crop. That could be a whole nother image. Because that's technically what I'm seeing. I like it right here, and I like the pause. I might have to go really tight. Hey John, how are you? I mean, this shot kind of works. But actually, when I cropped in really tight, I really like it right here. Something like this. Yeah, that works. This is the shot I like. All right, and I'll punch in, bring the detail back. The colors are a little bit wanky over here. Oh, that's because it's not rendered properly, but yeah, this is the shot I'd go with. I just wish it would render properly. Come on. Are my settings off? Let me check my settings real quick. Display. Where is add frames, display. It's not here. Where is it? Sorry, bear with me. I can't remember where that setting is I'm looking for. It has to do with how it renders raw images. I think, oh, it's over here in photos. Let me uncheck that. There we go. Now I can get a decent. There we go. Really? Okay, no, hold on. Hourglass is running. But this'll be a nice image once it's done rendering. This is great. I love this right here. I wish I could do it in a square crop, but this works for me. So if we compare before and after, I feel like this works. So I like the pause a lot, and I like the way he's sniffing right up on this. And there's so much detail. What lens is this? I don't have the exif date. I'm just curious. Say 12 to 40 Pro lens. Okay, on a EM5 Mark II. Awesome. What happened to my image? That's weird. Okay. Oh, thank you, Rick, and thank you, Dave. Let's try. Yeah, that worked out really well, didn't it? Let's try a different. What happened to my? Here we go. Let's move on to the next one here. Oh, okay. This is James. This is the picture you sent last week, I think, and you just showing the full frame instead of. Well, no, this is the same frame you gave me last time, but we're going black and white. Really good job on the tones. What I've noticed though, I'm thinking about getting a new monitor, is that my monitor's not as bright as it used to be. It's 8 years old now. But when I bought it, it did do 100% RGB color representation. But let me turn the brightness up maybe on my monitor. Yeah, I have it down. I have my monitor calibrated for like 100. But I'm gonna brighten my monitor back up a little bit because I think you guys are seeing a brighter image than I am. Okay, that's good. But I have my monitor calibrated for printing, So it's a little bit darker than what most people are seeing, but this looks good. Yeah, nothing I would change. I liked it. I liked my sepia tone that I did on it last week. Even a gentle sepia. Gentle sepia does a better job. And then just crop it back to a square. That's what I would do. I like the wide shot though of the original. I mean, the original is really nice too. Only let me think here. Yeah, that's where I would go with this. Something like that. I mean, I'm going for a totally different look than what the original was, because the original is gorgeous as it is, I think. But I feel like the, the story, because there's nothing really that interesting in the rest of the frame here, just some weeds. So I like the focus just right here, and the clouds are beautiful. That's where I would go with this. But yeah, nice picture. Let's move on. Dave would just Photoshop the horse over to the left, or do you mean to the right? To the right of the frame, so he's walking into the frame instead of walking out of it. Okay, we have a Serge. Is this you, Serge? Little portrait. What's the EXIF data on this? Let me see. No EXIF data. So I would man. I'm leaning towards a black and white. Even though this twig technically is distracting, I like this twig here. I don't like this twig. So I'm gonna do a square crop. And take a little bit of less headroom out of the top. There was too much room at the top. And then I'm feeling a monochrome. Oh, in Bangladesh, okay. Film camera, oh nice. I thought this was kind of interesting, because when I punched in it wasn't tack sharp, but that wasn't bothering me. There was something about it that was different, but now that you tell me it's film, it's definitely, I see that now. Let me just see what a monochrome would look like. I don't know. The color works too. But I'm going to go monochrome. Crank up the dehaze to bring some of the tones in, if I can. That's not doing nothing. So right about there. Just bring up a little bit in the face. Nope, not that. I'm just playing with the tones here. Let me try the green channel. Oops, what? What the heck just happened? All right. Good old Canon EOS, huh? With the 80 to 200. Nah, vignette is crap. Maybe this way. Okay. Let's exaggerate some of the grain. You can do it with sharpness, usually. All right. I wonder if there's another way I can exaggerate grain. I don't want to use the grainy filter here because it kills the contrast. See, I'll just show you. No, I'm not going to show you. But using the grainy film filter would destroy it, and it's already a film. Yeah, the EZO monitors, Roman, oh my God, they're $1,000, but I did look at those. There, I think this is what I would do with this image. So let's look at the before and after. Whoops, that's not. I think this is where I would go. I would just actually add it. I added sharpness, but I did that with the intent to add grain. A little more film grain. And depending on how large you print this, you may not add grain to it, like sharpness like I did. But on my screen, just a little bit more grain makes that initial softness I was seeing blend in a little better. But I like this. And then I added a tiny bit of white vignette, which is kind of optional. But this works. Very nice. Nice portrait. Okay. Let's see. Tri-X was the Grain Lover's Wonder film. Yeah, I'm gonna have to buy some Tri-X. Okay, this must be a raw image. Cause yeah, it is. A raw image from Ian. Awesome. Nice landscape. Perfectly exposed. I think, and this is a really wide angle. Let's look at the EXIF real quick. Just for grins. Not that it matters. EM5, so the Mark 1. And it looks like this was an adapted lens because there's no lens information. So, yeah, very nice. Whoops. Yeah, push the Tri-X. I'll have to learn how to push film because I send my stuff to 1 Hour Photo. I don't know if I tell them to push it in because pushing film involves development part, or there's a development side to that as well, right? I'm not developing my own film. But this angle is really wide, so it's kind of distorting this one tree just a little bit, I think. It feels distorted. Maybe it's not, but it just feels like it is. And this fence line here has got to go. So I'm going to go super wide crop. 16:7. And get rid of all that foreground and just focus on the lake. Still a bit too much sky. I think right about there. Tree is a little bit too prominent now, though. Maybe come in a bit tighter. Plato thinks it's too tight. Yeah, I think you're right. Let's do a regular 6x9. 16x9, I mean. Yeah, that's better. That's not quite as tight. Use my mom's soup to develop film. That would be interesting. All right, this works. We need to correct a little bit of distortion, though. So let me see. We're going to do distortion correction. Maybe a little bit more. There. And then let me straighten the horizons a little bit. And distortion again. That's jacking up the tree a bit too much, though. I guess about there. That's a good compromise. All right, now let me see what I can do with... Is my crop okay? Can I go any higher? No. I wish there was a little more headroom on the tree, but since we don't have it... the colors in here are just a bit off for me. I don't know. It's warm enough. It doesn't need any warmth, but it needs something color-wise. I'm just gonna give black and white a go. Because when I don't like the colors or something's wrong in the colors, then I just try black and white with a red filter maybe to bring the skies in. I'm gonna play with black and white just briefly, just to see if let me just do a quick comparison. Yeah, I'm kind of digging the black and white. Tiny bit of clarity right in there. Yeah, we lost the lake in the black and white. I agree. I don't know if that's worth the sacrifice or not. And let's see, we have good shadow detail here and here in the highlights. So I don't think I can do any, I was thinking maybe doing some split toning, but I think yeah, I'm kind of with you, Dave. I did like this blue lake, but the problem is the scene is so wide that the lake is just it's so big that it kind of is more than just an accent in the picture. It really needs to be the subject, but because it's not taking up the entire frame. It's not really the subject of the picture either. It's like this tree is the subject. So I feel like this needs to be split into two images. But I'm not sure if losing the lake is worth it to go black and white. I think I'm going to stick with color. I need to fix the color somehow. Let me take off the dehaze and the other crap. It doesn't need any of that. Okay. No, there's no edge enhancement. I can do a little bit of sharpening, which is kind of a crude way to do edge enhancement. There's an unsharp mask too. But it takes forever to tweak these settings because I don't use it enough to get a feel for it. But I feel like the distortion is still slightly off, but I can't fix it more than that with Workspace. I think this is all I can do. Maybe work with the blues a little bit in the lake. Oh, I can't. I don't have color options here. So let me work with the blue channel maybe. Let me see. Just like that. Now if I work with the green channel, I can offset. Nope, 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 nope. There. Okay. And I'm just going to touch the shadows here. Right there. Dramatic tone filter. And then Bob's saying maybe the sharpening mask tutorial. Maybe, yeah, I can talk about that. It's not one I use much because it's really a pain to work with, but it does give you good results if you really know how to tweak it. I think this is what I would do, so let's do it before and after. Remove the green correction, you think? I kind of like what it did to the reds. But we'll try. No, I like it right about there. It looks too brown. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit. Just a tiny bit. I could probably do it with white balance, but if I change the white balance, it changes everything. So if I can work on a specific channel. All right, now let's look at the before and after. I feel like this is where I would go, is just crop out mainly because of this fence line. And this grass is pretty uninteresting. I mean, yeah, it's a little bit too brown now that I have them side by side. Let me get rid of that just all together. Let me go back to the blue channel. Okay. All right, this is the final edit for me. I think that works. I wish the tree just wasn't so dominant. If it was a little bit, like I would have done a different picture of this tree. And a different shot with the lake. But when you put these together, it kind of destroys this beautiful background here, which in of itself is a subject. Like, I think I can see, like, yeah, look at this water line here with the waves crashing. I like all of this back here. But yeah, if I were to crop this like for the tree, I'd probably do something like this. I have to come in a little bit. Because to me that puts the tree more in focus and makes it a lot more interesting. And then the background serves as just a background at this point. But the way I had it before, let me get it back to my original crop. Oh, did I? Yeah, the wide crop is better. Yeah, I agree. Okay. Yeah, this crop works. Okay, let's move on. But nice picture. Nice picture, Ian. Rick loves that tree. I hate it. I don't hate it. I just feel like it should be a separate picture. Because the tree itself is very interesting. But it's so just in your face. Okay, let's move on. All right. Oh, I love these kind of pictures, you know. Dave loves the tree too. Man, you guys are something. I gotta straighten this a little bit. So maybe a little more. Dramatic tone this one. Yeah, there's some clouds, but I think it's gonna mess up the grass. I don't find dramatic tones. Yeah, I hate trees. Yeah, I think it's the symmetry, the geometry of the tree is messing with me, right? Because I like straight lines. I think you nailed it there, Rick. That's my problem with it, right? But okay, that's good for straightening. Well, we'll just do a quick dramatic tone filter, but I found dramatic tone jacks up the grass. It works great on skies. Like, I love the skies, but I hate what it does to the grass. So I'm gonna have to work with it manually. I bet a vintage 3 filter would look good on this. Oh no, that looks like crap. How about a vintage 1? Nah, let's forget the vintage. Let's forget the art filters. Let's work with this one. Get my cropping axe out, huh? I'm curious though. Let me see what's in here. I like the scene, the clouds. I like this windmill or whatever it is. Yeah, Bob, I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna come to the sky. Right now, I just want to see what I can do with the scene. But yeah, I'm gonna dehaze the sky a bit, and add some clarity, and that'll really kick up the drama in the clouds. I think you're right. A 16 by 9 would be a nice crop. I'm wondering about these I'm wondering about this over here. What is that? They're saying don't know something. I don't know what that kind of... Anybody know what that sign means? I have no idea. I've never seen such a thing. And there's another sign over here. And another sign there. Man, there's a lot of signs on this farm. This is the only thing I don't like in the picture. It just doesn't blend. I mean, maybe it does. If I knew what that sign meant, I would... no anchors. Why no anchors? Sign means no cropping. What the heck is... Why would you have anchors there? Whose is this? This is Geeka Van Embed Boas picture. Or Chica Van Embed Boas. Man, what an awesome name. I don't know, maybe this adds to the story somehow, but I feel like the story's right over here on the left side. I think right about here. You can't see the canal behind the house. Oh, okay. I need to crop that sign out. That's just oh, I kind of miss all the grass here. I'm gonna have to go with a more normal crop. Maybe. Yeah, I like this crop. Because I like the grass here in the front, all the different colors. We're still capturing plenty of sky. We got the cows. Got rid of those ridiculous signs. And like I said, I don't want to use an art filter, but I just want to... Nah, forget it. I think editing this image the way it is. So let's go to the haze. That'll bring the skies in nice. Let's tweak the... Oops. We got to do the full RGB. I need to tilt it back. It's a little bit crooked now. Okay. Oh, okay. Thanks, Rick. Rick is explaining that the windmills are for water drainage, so there will be a canal behind the windmill, hence the no anchor sign. Okay, I think this kind of works. It needs to be a little bit warmer. So let me do that. Maybe around 6,500K might. Let me see what. Yeah, it needs to be closer to 65. Because I'd like the warmth to show up here on this windmill. Just make it a little bit warmer because it's a little bit too cold for me. So we'll give this a moment. Tiny bit more warmth. I might have to go to 7,000K. And then I'm going to put some magenta in. That'll help bring out this grass and give the clouds a little bit more color too, I think. Let me see what that looks like. That might look like crap, but let me see. Yeah, that's helping. I'm waiting for this hourglass. All right, I think that's what I would do with this edit. I mean, I wish I could get in a little tighter, but I don't want to lose the grass and the sky. These are the two most interesting things. Let me try a different just trying to see if there's do one of my super crops, right? But I don't think so. I'm not crazy about this structures over here. But I think this is where I would go. I think this captures everything. The beautiful clouds and skies, the grass up front, and you know, there's a couple of cows. This is the kind of image that needs to be huge though, to see all of the detail in this image. Something like this. I could probably crop in a little bit more. It feels a little bit too balanced. I feel like a 4x6. Where is it? 3x2. Same thing. Same difference. Yeah, that feels better. That feels about right to me. Give it a second to snap in. It's a little bit soft right now, but there we go. So quick before and after. Maybe a slightly tighter crop, but that's the direction I would go, is just to warm it up a little bit and crop in. Get rid of those no anchor signs. To me, that's distracting. That's a whole separate story to the windmills, in my opinion. I don't know. I think I got too much grass, because there's a lot of grass over here that has all the colors I want, and the grass over here is not helping. I don't know if I can crop in and get rid of more of that grass. Yeah, square crop I think would just bring in too much grass, Bob. What paper would you print the image on, and what would you change in your edit? Oof. I would probably print this on a I'd print this on a high gloss. There, I think I'm done now. Make the grass greener, maybe. Yeah, let me try. Let me see if I can take out some of the blue. No, what the heck? I'm on the wrong. Let me go to red. That helps a tiny bit. Heavy on the magenta. Yeah, just I'll back it off one click. All right, let's see how that looks. Yeah, that works a little better. There was a little bit too much grass in the front. Give that a second to snap in. It's a little bit soft right now. I mean, both image, the original image is not bad actually. I mean, in terms of framing, right? I still like that grass in the front. All right, that looks good though. Let me just look at it one time full screen. I think that looks good. Oh, I like the little yellow star on the center of the windmill too. Man, this is like if this was your property, you could go all around there and take some awesome shots. Because there's all kinds of things going on here. All right, let's see what else we got here. Just a couple more. A vertical crop around the windmill. No, because I like all of the sky. I'll just show you. You'll see. If I do a vertical crop like this, and let me center it. I mean, that's another image, really. That's not bad. It's not bad at all. That works too, actually, the vertical. But I like the wide shot better. Okay, where are we? Let's do a butterfly shot. This is Aurora Red Vivid, John McCormick. Wow, this is already heavily cropped, it looks like. HDR. Aurora HDR. Oh, okay. Yeah, Dave, the vertical crop wasn't half bad, right? Yeah, like I said, that scene really has a lot of images in it all by itself. This is one of those shots where I feel like a 14 to 150 zoom lens would give you a lot of different pictures. Okay, it's a little bit green, a little bit too green, but that's it. So let's just warm it up. And let me take out some of the green. Green is a little bit heavy for me. And let's crank up the blues, because I see some nice blues in the butterfly. And a nice, I don't know if I want to mess with the yellows, because there's a lot of yellow in the scene, and I don't want it to mess up. I want to bring out the yellows in the butterfly, but there's so much yellow everywhere. Maybe if I do the oranges. Let me see. But I'm afraid that's going to jack it up a little bit. Yeah, the 14 to 150 is an awesome little lens just to carry around to do it all. And I like the purples in here too. Let me see if I can bring the luminance down on those flowers. And these reds, I need to shift this color. I'm trying to think of a hue that would work on these reds. What choices do I have? Make them more orange? Maybe a little bit. It says they're a little bit too red. All right. And yeah, the yellow blade is a little bit distracting. I'm not sure what I can do about it because there's so much yellow in the butterfly. Anything I do to this is going to affect the butterfly. other than cropping it. Let's try vertical crop. Okay. That's kind of about right. I wish I could bring the... it needs a little more contrast in the wings. Maybe I can do it with this. Oh, you cloned out the yellow leaves? Yeah. I could probably do a little bit anyway. Let me see. I don't know if I can do it without messing up the butterfly. Whoops. That's not going to work. Let me try it from over here. Terrible, terrible cloning job. I'm the worst cloning guy ever. Maybe. Nope. It has to be green. That's not bad. All right. Let me get out of the cloning mode. And I think I can crop just a tiny bit more. Let me see. I see some comments here. Vertical crop work, flower and insect's eye need to be bringing out. Looks a bit, yeah, it's a little bit soft, the image. Okay, Roberta, we'll see you. Thanks for staying up. Yeah, major crop at 1250 ISO. Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, we're at ISO 1250 with a 40 to 150 kit lens. Wow, but you're at 1/16,000th of a second. You could have probably brought the ISO down. That's an exceptionally fast shutter speed. You could have probably shot this at like 1/100th of a second and then brought your ISO down to 200 is my guess. But yeah, I think this works. So let's go before and after. Oh, I need to warm it up a tiny bit more. This green is just too green for me. What if I shift the greens a little bit yellow here? Let me see. Oh, that's too much. Yeah, there we go. And whoops, let me throw some sharpness back in. Oh, this is where a sharpening mask would be better. Let me try it. Let me try and do it with a mask, because somebody was asking me about that. So let me bring this up about halfway to start. Ah, wait. This one is very sensitive. Let me do a half a pixel. Maybe 1 pixel. 1 pixel is about right. Then yeah, there we go. A little bit back. So if you've never used the unsharp mask tool, basically I'm trying to like not sharpen this area, but sharpen the higher contrast areas in here. So by adjusting the threshold, I can affect that a little bit. So I can affect just the parts I want to sharpen and not the others. All right, that works. I think I'm done. Let's compare it now. Yeah, I need to work on the sharpening a little bit more. I think I can, there's still more to be done there. I mean, I like the original square crop too. But I want to be able to focus on how the legs are digging into that flower. I like that part. And in here, you know, in this image here, it gets lost a little bit. You can see it, but it gets lost a little bit. But in the image where I crop it, it becomes more dominant, and yeah, you can see a little more color in the eyes and everything. So everything kind of works a little better here. It's just too bad you were at ISO 1250. This would be an awesome shot if we could get a little more detail. All right. Oh, thanks. Everyone seems to like my cropping. See? All right. Oh, you're welcome, Dave. Yeah, it always helps to see other people's perspective. Why not, right? You may not like it, but still, it'll give you ideas on maybe a different shot later. This image is perfect, really, exposure-wise. I wouldn't change anything, and the colors are good. I think just compositionally, I just don't like these buildings here. I don't know if we can isolate this without destroying the overall mood though here. But just a slightly wider crop. And then a tiny bit of brushing. Why is... I got too much blur, that's why. Why isn't it blurring this out? I hate the brush tool in Workspace. It's just a little bit unpredictable. I can't... Hold on. Let's wait for this hourglass to finish and see how badly I messed this up. I can't get the brush tool to click in here. Let me wait for this to finish. Why does the space shuttle have a cross? That's funny. It's a... that... Where is that coming from? Well, we'll leave that. If I could brush this out easily, I would. Okay, that worked. All right, this is where I would go. Yeah, cloning on Workspace is a PETA. That's true. So, that's it. That's all I would do with this. Really nice image, Paul. It's interesting, there's a tiny red thing here. Man, you could crop in really tight like that too. But we won't. We'll leave it. All this negative space really works too. I'm thinking possibly just a little bit of texture adjustment. Oh, I don't have that here. So I wouldn't do anything. And there's some comments about how the buildings in the front added some perspective, right? What are the comments exactly? It says here, the buildings add scale and a sense of place to the photo. Losing them diminishes the impact of the photo. I think the impact of the photo is all of this, just this haze, you know. But let's look at the before and after. I feel like the buildings are a distraction. I don't need the scale of the building. I think, to me, this image is not about scale. It's about the feel and the mood. And those buildings are just killing it for me. That's all. But yeah, I get that. It does add scale. You get a feel for how big that building is, but that's not important to me in this case. What's important to me is just this feel of these beautiful colors in the clouds going across this building. But yeah, I mean, you know, that's why everybody sees things differently, right? And they appreciate things that are different things in the image. For me, I'm not appreciating the scale at all, you know, but someone else might. So yeah, I appreciate all the feedback though. Okay, nice image though, Paul. Okay, yeah, Roman likes the buildings better, and Adam likes it without the buildings. And try vertical crop with the buildings. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. Let's just try a quick vertical crop. I'm a little bit intrigued by that idea. No, that doesn't work, but this actually kind of works over here, just a tiny bit. I mean, that kind of works. Because when I was doing a landscape crop, a wide crop, the buildings were too much. But in the vertical crop, I think the buildings do add to the image, but not in a overwhelming way. Because you have this beautiful background, but then you have just enough of the buildings in the bottom to say, wow, you know, it'd be really nice to live right there. You know, and have this beautiful view from the balcony of your apartment here, or whatever this is. So actually, that was a good suggestion. I like the vertical crop almost as much as the landscape crop. Yeah, right, Adam. That crop looks good too. I really think that works too. The horizontal crop didn't work, but it works as a vertical. Definitely worked. Nice image, Paul. I liked it. Okay, let's see what else. Yeah, Dave, right? The vertical crop's not bad. Okay, let's move on. Okay, this is interesting. It's been so I have a raw image. Oh, Roman, this is yours. Yeah, the big building seems more monumental, right? A little bit further to the right. Yeah, we could play with that vertical crop on that church or whatever it was a little more, but I think that was the right direction. Okay, you know, it's really hard to get an image to work when you're shooting through a fence. There are images that I've seen where that worked really well, but I've tried it so many times myself, Roman. Every time I try to do a picture through a fence, I fail every time. And I feel like this image it's not working either. Because usually when you're shooting through a fence, you're trying to use the fence to do a frame within a frame. But the way it's working here, it's drawing your eyes away from the boat. No straight lines, I know, right? No, there's lots of straight lines here. They're just they're crooked. So you went with a square crop. Let me just let me just go with the original. How come it's not letting me change anything? This is a raw image. There. Let me look at the whole frame. So if I'm going to shoot through a fence, I'm going to get rid of the sidewalk here. Now I'd start there. And then try and get one of the lines going through a corner. I think the story, or not the story, but the view is right here. And this is not helping up here. So I'm going to try and just get two lines in. Maybe this. But now these wires are out of focus. So what are you shooting at? F10? So you tried to get these in focus. I get that. It's definitely crooked though. Let me try a vertical. I'm just... This works a little better. Let me see what else. What else am I missing? I think right about there. I like this corner having a wire. I mean, if we're gonna have wires, let's just get as many as we can. This is okay. And then Roman, you said you did a dramatic tone. Dramatic tone would work well here with a black and white. Maybe, let me look at color. Color might not work. Yeah, I don't like the color. I like the black and white. And maybe a little tighter on the bottom. There's a little bit too much space there. See if I can do it without. I like to keep as much as I can of these wires. I just need to be okay. That I like this third row, but then the boat's kind of getting lost. It's moving out of the frame, but that's okay. I think this works. And throw some sharpness back in, because there's a little bit of diffraction going on. Just a tiny bit. I'm trying to bring some of the highlight back here. Okay, let me see some comments here. This picture is true test master of the crop mayhem. Let's see. Better, better, better. That's why I chose it. I want to see how much he crops. Okay, yeah. I cropped quite a bit. Not too much, actually. Yeah, the boat's going out of the picture, but unfortunately, if I only get... My feeling is if I only get these two wires in, the picture loses its kind of interesting look to it, you know? So I'm kind of okay with the boat going out of the frame. Because let me look at the rest of the image again. There's a dust spot or something over here anyway. So I think this works for me, just like this. So let's do a before and after. I like it now. Better than before, at least. And there's no way to get the boat in the frame and all three wires. Let me just try one other crop. Let me try. Let me see how that looks. That kind of works, but I don't like this part. I don't like these trees here, cutting out the spacing in between the lines. Let me look at this full screen. That kind of works, but I think I like the vertical crop better because of the trees over here. This almost works, but this line, it almost works. Almost. I don't know if I can get a crop that works in a wide aspect. Let me look at that. Now we're kind of back with the boat going out of frame. I think the vertical worked better because I don't like these trees filling up the space in between these lines. So this to me worked better. Right in there. Yeah, this to me is best. Something along. Did I lose my horizon? It's a little bit. Right there. Okay. So that's the before and after. This is where I would go. Something like that. All right, let's move on. Nice shot though, Roman. I think it's really hard to make these shooting through a fence work, but it can be done. I think if you go back there and next time I go out and look at a fence, I'm gonna try something like this myself. But I'd have to work the scene a little bit to make this whole thing work, but I think it could work. Another dust bunny here. You gotta clean your lens. Well, you're shooting at f10. Yeah, so you gotta clean your lens or something. These look like spots on the back of the lens or on the sensor. I don't think these are spots on the front, but maybe. Okay, let's move on. Oh, last one. All right, wow, it's 1 o'clock, so yeah, that's big flock of geese here. It's weird how they line up like that, isn't it? Like, where did they decide? Like, why did these guys decide to break off? You know, why aren't they just behind everyone else? I don't know. I think this composition works overall. I would just add a little dehaze. I like the colors and everything. This is John Rayner's picture here. Where's my dehaze shot? Just add some dehaze. Let's bring in some contrast. This side and a little bit on this side. Like so. Yeah, right about there. Lauren, that's hilarious. The left wing birds. Actually, I think from a top-down perspective, they're flying to the right. If you're talking about this line, it's like drawing fans in cycling when it's upwind. Looks a bit too artificial. Maybe, yeah. I could tweak the white balance a little bit. Take a little magenta out. Maybe. There. Yeah, it's the back of the lens, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. It looks like the back of the lens. Just use a Q-tip. Well, don't take any advice from me about cleaning nothing, okay? All my crap is dirty. So, yeah, that's why you'll never see like a how to clean your camera video from me. I mean, I clean my cameras, but God knows what damage I'm doing to them. But yeah, I think this works as is. I mean, I could do it before and after, but I hardly did anything but bring some contrast back in. There's a little bit of color noise in here that can be cleaned up. I don't think I have access to that here. Let me see. Yeah, I don't have access to the color noise. So to get rid of color noise, just go monochrome and then crank up the dehaze way up. And some clarity. Not too much though. Reduce the sharpness. I mean, that's another way to go, right? Is just black and white. Now it looks like a film image. But I think the color edit I did earlier worked better. But okay, very good. Thanks everyone for submitting your images and all of the great suggestions. Man, this was a great session and great images. And I look forward to next week. So there's a link down below to submit your images for the next session on Thursday. But in any case, you guys have a good rest of the weekend, and we'll see you again soon.